Hey, I'm Aaron Stash with the Electric Home Show here in Evanston, Illinois today on a chilly February morning. We are going to take a look at this home electrification project. Let's go take a look. I'm Aaron Stash. Welcome to the Electric Home Show. Hi, I'm Aaron Stash with the Electric Home Show. We're here in Evanston, Illinois today with Rory from Northwind Heating and Air Conditioning. Welcome. Great to see you. Tell us a little bit about your company and then tell us a little bit about the story of this home.
Okay, so Northwind has about 56 heat pump systems in Chicagoland now. We are about 3 years old, going into our 4th year.
And so tell us the story of, when you got here versus where we are today. What things did you have to do and what did we end up with?
So when I arrived, there was an inefficient gas furnace and an inefficient gas water heater. And the first thing we needed to do was a load calculation. So we invited you out to determine how much heat is needed at low temperature, 5 degrees, to heat the home.
Right. We did a manual J HVAC load calc for the energy necessary here.
Yeah. Right away, we matched that load calculation and compared it to the ductwork.
Okay.
We found that it was undersized, and so we had to increase the size of the return and modify some of the ductwork upstairs to ensure that a heat pump system would work for them.
Right. Or what makes the ductwork special when doing a heat pump system?
Heat pumps require good airflow. The first thing we noticed was that this return was sized for 1 ton of air conditioning or conditioning in general. So undersized return, we had to double this return to give them the efficiency and to make sure that we weren't putting too much torque on the motor and for the longevity of the system, really. And so that was important. We also made modifications to their supplies going to the top floor to ensure that it was cooling properly and that we would be getting heat.
And I think when we look at the homes in general, we want to talk about air sealing and insulation and all of the factors that make your home more energy efficient. Allows you to use a system like this, maybe in heat pump only mode, because of the other aspects of the house.
Sometimes this is a good example of a home being heated with only a cold climate heat pump. Not everyone can do that.
Right.
So we need to be clear.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I think that's a great point, right?
Yeah.
This isn't going to be for everyone.
Yeah.
And it's not a simple one and done. We swap this out. Now I've got a heat pump. There's a lot of factors to consider. Is that fair?
This is a full electric system, meaning there's full electric furnace backup heat with a heat pump outside, right?
Right. And then in addition to the HVAC system, you also installed a water heater at the same time.
Yeah.
So take us through, these are both electric. Was that in the plan?
So Michael wanted a full electric system, and some people convert their HVAC systems to hybrid, which would mean they have a gas backup furnace. Right now, Michael has a cold climate heat pump outside called a Bosch Ultra, and it's heating his home down to negative 13 degrees, and it's winter 2026.
Yeah.
It's February, and Michael still hasn't used his backup electric resistance
Right.
heat.
So let's talk a little bit about the water heater. So looks a little bit like a Spaceship, but also looks like a water heater.
Yeah. This is a Bosch GreenTronic 7000. This is a hybrid water heater in the sense that it uses an electric heating element to heat the water, but it also has as primary heat, again, a compressor on top to take heat from the air in here to heat the water.
So essentially, this part of it is the heat pump.
This is the compressor.
Everything below that is just a traditional electric water heater.
This utilizes heat from its surroundings. So it takes heat from its surroundings. It's a good thing. This is producing heat, so it's actually taking, in the wintertime, thermal heat or radiant heat from the HVAC system to heat the water.
Gotcha. And I think some things we've heard with a heat pump water heater is they can be loud. I haven't heard this one at all. And I think you mentioned it's taking heat from this space, but we're perfectly comfortable in here. Okay, great. Yeah. Rory, thank you so much. This is great. Hi, I'm Aaron Stash. Thanks for watching the Electric Home Show. If you're interested in buying, selling, or transforming a home, Let me be your green home guide. Reach out to me today at aaronstash.com to schedule your free virtual coffee. Now, back to the show. Hi, I'm Aaron Stash. Welcome to the Electric Home Show. We're here today in Evanston, Illinois with Michael. Michael, great to see you again. Appreciate you opening up your house. So
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about your situation here in Evanston. What brought you to this townhome, and what are we going to see?
Aaron, as a Evanston native, a lifelong environmental advocate and member of Climate Action Evanston, I was tired of moving from apartment building to condominium, feeling my fingers grow numb around Thanksgiving only to thaw out by Easter, and then sweating the rest of the year. I knew we could live more comfortably, but I also knew that the way we lived in our homes made a tremendous difference environmentally.
Got it. So you're really looking at this from a holistic perspective for the environmental benefits or having less impact on the environment with your home, as well as from a comfort perspective. Is that fair?
It is, and I'd spent a lot of time looking into that for houses of worship and for my neighbors.
So what were the systems inside the home when you first purchased?
The first thing we noticed, Aaron, was actually the temperature. We moved in August and it was hot. It was hot upstairs, it was comfortable on the first floor, and it was very pleasant in the basement. Not surprising. But it wasn't until our HVAC guy, Rory at Northwind, called you at Electric Home Company, and you visited with your thermal imaging and was able to see with that and with correct measurement what our load calculation for new technology in heating and air conditioning should be.
It's funny because I recall going into your basement for the first time, and I think I brought you down and was like, hey, look at this piece of tape, I think, that was hanging on the ductwork.
Right?
Like, there's no duct opening there, but the tape is flapping in the wind because it was such a leaky duct, right?
I remember that.
So when Rory came in, we're looking at HVAC upgrades, you're looking at a hot water upgrade. Talk to us about the HVAC system and things that you had to do or that were done in the home to make that possible.
Yeah. And what we realized with the help, with your help, and with the help of some energy monitoring equipment from Emporia we had installed with iConduit Electric, we understood we had the capacity on our 100 amp panel to make our heat pump water heater, our heat pump, and a new heat pump dryer works seamlessly. The equipment is readily hosted within the existing panel, which was already a bit large. Once installed, it gives me runtime performance data on everything in the home. Probably the one thing they don't describe is, guess what? You probably don't use as much energy as you think you do in the first place. And so we found ourselves really with a nice capacity to run everything we'd hoped to run.
Got that. So we're in, Chicagoland region. We're in Evanston, Illinois.
We're in the middle of a vortex.
We had a polar vortex about a month ago.
Yeah.
And you're saying the system that you have, you're still running heat pump only. Is that right?
I feel great. And, my fingers aren't numb. And it's been with temperatures in the negative. Yeah.
Got it. From a comfort perspective, everything's working great.
Everything's great.
Okay, fantastic. So let's talk about the water heater. So previously you had a gas water heater, tanked water heater that was there. Why not go with a tankless gas unit? Why choose a heat pump water heater in that case?
Having spent years in apartment buildings and waiting for the hot water to come up to our unit and recognizing all that waiting also had an impact on the environment, there was no way I would go for a gas anything.
Yeah.
So that was already kind of written out. I did want the comfort. I did want the hot water right away. And what the Bosch GreenTronic allows us to do is easily monitor the temperature in the tank and adjust that to what we're looking for.
Oftentimes, I think specifically in our climate, folks are like, well, heat pumps don't work in the cold. And here we are in February of 2026 saying, no, that's not the case. This technology works here in a water heater, in an HVAC system.
It works great. It works for my clothes dryer as well.
So tell us about that. So what did you have previously? We're kind of knocking them off the list. HVAC, hot water, now the clothes dryer. Did you have a gas system before?
We had an electric resistance dryer previously that was, I believe, vintage 2015.
Okay.
So it wasn't that old. But again, I was on that drive, and I was on a drive to use the electricity more efficiently. So I figured, well, maybe I should bring in a heat pump dryer too. By the time we got it in, we recognized that we could manage all of it pretty well, but I still wanted those savings.
Yeah.
And what I got was a dryer that, honestly, did the clothes coming out of it feel toasty warm? No, they felt dry, which is what you want out of a dryer in the first place.
Yeah.
And I might add, the watts we were using 50% less energy doing so.
Wow. So that's a big thing, because if we're thinking about electrification or decarbonization, your dryer was already electric, but an electric resistance dryer uses a whole lot of energy, and it's also blowing a lot of that energy outside with the vent, correct?
Good point. It's another hole in the building's envelope, a hole that's going to invite in all sorts of mischief, as well as cold in the winter and a heat in the
In
summer.
the case of that upgrade, there wasn't really much you needed to do other than put a new system in, because you already had the plug, right?
Oh, the dryer was simple as can be.
Okay.
The guys were in and out in 15 minutes.
Oh, perfect. So, here's a pro tip. If you have an electric resistance dryer, upgrade to a heat pump dryer and you're going to save money immediately.
Oh, and ComEd also ensured that we had that rebate as well.
Okay.
So that was a nice $200 back in the pocket.
All right. Did you do any other building envelope updates, insulation, air sealing, things like that?
We recognized that the roof had lived long past its natural lifespan. There wasn't venting on the second floor, and so any moisture from taking a shower, from the kitchen, was drifting up into that old insulation and rotting it out. It was very unpleasant having to remove that, having to see what was up there, and made the replacement roof that much nicer.
So next on your list, maybe the cooking, maybe
The next
solar
on
or
my
things like
list,
that?
Involves switching out our gas stove. It heats quickly, it's lovely and toasty hot, but at the same time, I'd really love to get rid of all of the gas. And it does make a difference in terms of indoor air quality. My new ecobee thermostat is able to recognize it in terms of VOCs and in terms of carbon dioxide. There's simply more of it in here when I'm cooking. I'd love to be able to swap out that stove long term. Now it's just a matter of a little arm wrestling with a partner to make.
This is fantastic. Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for coming out here.
All right. I'm Aaron Stash. Thanks for watching the Electric Home Show. Like and subscribe for more. Hi, I'm Aaron Stash, Green Home Consultant, host of the Electric Home Show, founder of the Electric Home Company, and now real estate broker with Exit Strategy Realty. If you're interested in buying, selling, or transforming a home, let me be your green home guide. Reach out today at aaronstash.com to schedule your free virtual coffee.